Hi, I'm Christine. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm here with a massive book unhaul. Alright, I have been dreading doing this video for years now. In my previous book haul video, I had said that I thought I'd been meaning to do this for like a year and a half. No, that's actually not the case. It's been literally years, so at least 3+ years that I've been meaning to unhaul all of these books. So it is a ton of books. I have hundreds and hundreds of books to get rid of. This is the very first unhaul video I have ever filmed on my channel, so I have a lot to get through. I have been just putting them to the side, ignoring them, pretending they don't exist, not looking at them, not giving them attention. But today is the day that that time is now over for them. Their time is up. They need to go. I need space in my room. I want them out of my life immediately. So today's the day that these books need to go, and I'm forcing myself to get started on this project by filming this unhaul today. So I've kind of had these somewhat organized / set to the side for quite a few years now. I used to be somebody who got a lot of special edition book boxes, was subscribed to a lot of book boxes. That hasn't been the case for like at least 2 years now. Like, I got rid of all of those subscriptions because I started getting in books that like you couldn't skip the subscription, and so you would get books that maybe you didn't want, authors you didn't care about. A lot of these at the time, like 2 or 3 years ago, were ones where if you wanted like maybe 1 or 2 of the special editions in the book box, you had to like buy the whole bundle. So I was like, maybe I wanted 1 or 2 and I got stuck with all the rest. So this is kind of the case of me being stuck with a ton of special editions that I never wanted in the first place. Like I said, I have made changes. I don't have subscription book boxes anymore. I think I maybe have 1, which is one that I have. You can do like unlimited skips. So I love that. So I rarely ever grab any of theirs. And then if I do want a special edition, because you know I love my special editions around here, then I just like sign up for ones that you can just buy said box. You see the art ahead of time. You know what the cover looks like. Grab those and get the heck out of there. So that's kind of what I do nowadays. So I've definitely made changes, but in the meantime, all of these are just stacked up waiting to get out of my house. I also had decided to, for the month of September, like I went through all of my shelves. I have shelves behind me. Obviously, there's some shelves in other parts of my room that you can't see on the video right now. So I also used the time of the whole month of September whenever I had a free time to go through maybe some of the shelves, some of the sections, and I'd pull out books that either I didn't love anymore, just didn't want to have copies of on my shelves, had duplicates, whatever the case. So this is kind of a hundreds and hundreds of unhaul books that I'm going to get rid of. So a lot of these I have maybe a reason if I didn't like the book. I have a duplicate. I never wanted it. I get a lot of unsolicited mail as well from publishers and PR companies and authors and different things like that. Maybe I had gotten their books over the years and I never really wanted it, never was interested in reading it. So those I need to unhaul as well. So all that to say, you're probably wondering, what am I going to do with all these books? So great question. Another reason why I have been putting off filming and forcing myself to do this video and unhaul these, because I kind of want them like gone immediately, which I know is obviously not realistic. So this is going to really force me to finally figure out where they're going to go, because obviously I don't want to like donate all of these books because a lot of these I paid for. I want to at least get my money back like from some of these. You know, I feel like I have some good stuff on my shelves that I could at least get my money back. I'm not trying to like make $1 million off of these books or list them for incredibly outrageous numbers. So I'm going to try to list these. I think people have mentioned like Mercari and Pango Books. I know I have used Mercari in the past, like as a buyer. I've never used it as a seller. And then Pango Books I've never really used. I think I've bought a book from there once. Like I rarely ever look there, but I've heard that that site is better to use. So let me know in the comments. I obviously have unhauled books in the past few years of me collecting books at like local used bookstores where I turn them in for like a trade store credit as well. So I've done that in the past. I've donated to like little free libraries, stuffed things in those. I've gotten rid of books at like Value Village and Salvation Armies and Goodwills and those type of like establishments. So I've definitely unhauled books in the past, but like those were maybe like a handful, a box full, never like the amount of books that I have now. And especially like these special editions and signed books that I don't want, like those ones I would rather them go somewhere instead of me like donating it to something, if that makes sense. So let me know in the comments of places that you think is good to sell books, because by the time the video goes up, I won't have listed any of these books yet. I'm going to just film this portion first, and then eventually once I figure out where I want to sell at, kind of do my own research of if it's going to be Pango Books or Mercari, then I will post something like on Instagram, on my community tabs or whatever it's called here on YouTube, where I can say things, have it like said there of like where I've finally decided to list them, as well as I'll come back to this video and put it in the description as well. So there'll be like multiple places where you'll be able to figure this out once I have figured out where I'm going to sell them. So with all of that out of the way, I think that's the whole setup of this video. Let's get into it. I'm just going to like quickly go through stacks, tell you why I'm getting rid of them, and move on. So let's go. All right, so we're just going to start this like this because I couldn't really figure out a better way to film all of this. So we're just going to get into it. There's just going to be piles we're gonna go through them slowly together. So let's start. The Rule by Cassandra Robbins. This one was a special edition, I think from, Fit Teacher Rachel did a special edition box. I've read this book, didn't like it. Autumn Nights by Willow Astor. This is actually a really pretty special edition that came from Beyond the Charlie book box in Australia. So her editions are really pretty. They're signed and they have or interior color art, I should say, throughout the entire book. So all the chapter headers, all the things. But this book I read after having bought it with the book box. It came with other books that I wanted, and I read this book. I didn't love this book, so don't need it. Sins of Seven by Penelope Ward. This was a Hello Lovely box special edition that they did at one time. Not an author that I've read in years, and I don't have any interest in it. Tempt Our Fate by Kat Singleton. This is actually a book that I like, and I like this author. I like this small town series, but this is one where it's just a duplicate. So I had pre-ordered it, got the paperback in, and then I ended up getting sent the PR box from the author, which came with a signed edition. So I don't need to. Unwanted Marriage by Katarina Mora. This again is one that I love. This is part of her Windsor series. It's actually signed to me. This is one that was at a book signing, I want to say Book Bonanza, where one year she was supposed to have foiled editions and something happened with the shipping. The signed editions that she was supposed to have at the signing didn't come, so she gave people this one. The following year, she did another signing that I was at, and she gave us that one that we were supposed to get this year, but it's foiled, and so this is just the plain one that I don't need because I have a foiled edition of this copy signed. Love in the Wild by Emma Castle. This is a Tarzan retelling that I got sent probably 5 years ago or so. It's signed by the author. I read it. It was fun when I read it, but I have no interest in reading it ever again. Neon Gods by Katie Robert. I used to love her books, which I don't read them anymore, but at the time I had pre-ordered this book, which was the first in a series. It came with an art, and then it came signed as well. So I had pre-ordered it, didn't love this book, and then I stopped reading this author, so I don't need it. Tell Me How You Hate Me, Callie Melly. This one I bought for the cover is what grabbed my attention. I did read this book, and I didn't like it at all. Age of Shade by Cleo White. This author actually reached out to me on Instagram, I want to say 3 years ago, and sent me this edition of her book. It came signed. I just didn't like this one. It's a forbidden age gap. I feel the writing was really off. I think this author has changed her style of writing since. I don't know if she re-edited, reworked this book. I don't know. The version I read, this version, didn't love it. So it was kind of all over the place. Room Hate by Serena Bowen. This is a foiled special edition from I think Bell book box. It has pretty sprayed edges and a really pretty foiled edition on the underside as well. This author I've actually read a lot in the past. I used to enjoy her books. I don't read her books nowadays, and this one I just don't have any interest in picking it up. Meant for Stone by Natasha Madison. This is a special edition that I think Hello Lovely Box did. So I had pre-ordered this. I really liked the art, and this author has kind of worked for me in the past, but this book in particular, I pre-ordered it before reading it, read it, didn't like it, but I was already stuck with the pre-orders. Game Changer by Piper Lawson. I haven't heard the greatest thing. This isn't an author that I read. So it's a sports romance, a special edition, I think, from Hello Lovely. Similarly, another special edition from Hello Lovely. This is If You Hate Me by Helena Hunting. This is an author who I've read in the past, and her books sometimes work for me, they sometimes don't. And so it's just not an author that I pick up regularly, and this is just not calling me. So Wildcat by Rebecca Jinshak. This is a special edition that she had at a signing, and then she ended up offering them on her website as well. And so I think I had just actually pre-ordered 2 of them from the signing and then from her website. So I love this book. I just don't need 2 of them. The Alias by Lita Hendricks. Dark and Quirky, I guess, did this one, which at the time you couldn't skip theirs. I think this is one of their first boxes, and so it came with 4 books, and this is the one I wasn't interested in. These are also signed by the authors, which is nice, but this author just hasn't worked for me in the books I read from her in the past, and this is a series I'm not interested in. No Tomorrow by Carrie Ann Cole. This is from Mystic Box, and this is one that I read, and I just don't love it. So I know tons of other people who loved this book. I honestly kept it the longest time on my shelves with the sprayed edges facing out, but that's not worth keeping a book just for that, so I don't need it. Next I have a couple from Sierra Simone. So these are again Mystic book box editions. This is Priest. This is the only one in the Bell Brothers series that I don't like. Same with this version of American Queen by Sierra Simone. This is from Mystic Box as well. I was a subscriber to Mystic Box back when they first did the edition of Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. So I was one of the OG signups, and all of these were their first ones that they ever did, and at the time you couldn't skip. I hate this book actually, so I really am not a fan. Again, more Mystic. This is It Ain't Me Babe by Tilly Cole. This is their very first version that they did of this book, because I think they did a couple reprints of this after the fact, but this is again the first one, and I just don't like this book, and I don't really care for this author, so don't need it. It came with the same Mystic book box. So this is Sick F's by Tilly Cole. I don't need this book. I don't want to read it. I'm not intrigued. The sprayed edges are pretty, but like, I don't need her. Next, I have The Lost Fisherman Duet by Julie Ann. So these were from a Bell Book Box, which like I had mentioned, I was a subscriber at the time. I'm not anymore. And then The Naked Fisherman is the other book. Sprayed edges are pretty. This author, I've read a ton of her books. Sometimes they hit for me, sometimes they don't. So I don't need to like take the chance. I'm not interested. Parks and Provocation by Juliet Cross. I actually like this one. This is one where it's just a duplicate. So this book I got because I purchased it after liking it. And then a friend sent me a signed edition of the same book from the author like at a signing they went to. Only One Forever by Natasha Madison. This one I had kept because it has really pretty gold sprayed edges. I think it's from Bell Book Box. Like I said, this author only works for me sometimes, and all these kind of earlier series don't work for me. Wild Boys Duet by Sarah Kate. This is from, I think, Bell Book Box again. This is a bind-up of, I think, the 2 books in it. Really pretty interior art. These 2 books, though, like Gravity and I think Freefall, they're just not for me. I didn't like it. Tell Me What You Want by Lucia Franco. This one I actually read and I liked it. It was okay. It was very just like erotic, steamy, spicy. I think the special edition is really pretty, but like not enough for me to keep it on my shelves. Another Tilly Cole. So this one is actually still in the plastic wrap, so I'm not going to take it out of there. This is 1,000 Boy Kisses. I did not like this book and I don't need this edition on my shelves. This is a set from Eternal Embers. So this is Lucy Smoke. The first one I think is Natural Born Killers. There's also, oh, it has like signed book plates as well for all the books. Pretty Little Savage, a Stone Cold Queen. Again, they're sealed and I'm not going to open them. Had never read this author, don't plan to. This next whole set is Ruby Dixon. Ruby Dixon is an author that I love, and I just had, when her like indie covers were going out of print, if I ever found them, I picked them up and grabbed them for people. So like I've sent some of these to friends along the way, but these are the ones that I have left over that I just don't need copies of. So this is Ice Planet Barbarians, the first one. I have 2 copies. Another one in the series is Barbarian Lover, and then Barbarian's Touch as well. And again, these are just the indie covers that are no longer in print, and they're just duplicates for me. Next, I have Scoring to Win by Maren Moore. This is one that came with, I think, Eternal Embers again. And so this is from Maren Moore. It's like a pregnancy romance, I'm guessing, by the heroine. And like this author, I enjoy her books, but like I don't need this special edition, and this one does not sound up my alley. Breakaway by Grace Riley came in the same, or it's from Eternal Embers as well. I don't think this author is going to be for me, so passing that on. Her Greatest Mistake by Hannah Cohen. This is from the Last Chapter book box. I'm just not interested in this. I have actually never read this author, and I want to, but if I do, I don't need this like just super plain purple cover on my shelves. All right, I actually have a handful of Catherine Cowles, which you know she's one of my favorites, and I love her books so much, but these are just duplicates that are just sitting on my shelves. So this is Whispers of You. This edition is so pretty. I think it's from cover to cover, I want to say. And so I already have this on my shelves, but one time the cover to cover book box, they did like you could get a mystery one for X amount of price. And so you didn't know which one you were getting. So I took the chance and then I got this one that I already have. So like I just kept it sealed. Another Catherine Cowles. This is Tattered Stars. This is a special edition that the Last Chapter book box did. And this was one where they did like a trilogy of hers. And for whatever reason, like the mountain here, those silver lines on the middle, this first printing like didn't match up, so they reprinted it, sent everybody the new cover, so I just have like an extra cover. Then it's 2 from Tattered and Torn series, so this is Tattered Stars and Fractured Sky, which is actually the first book and the last book in the series. These ones I already have on my shelves, but these 2 I got from book signings. Like sometimes book signings, they would have like extras in the book swag bag that you got when you showed up, and so at 2 signings that Catherine was at, these were the 2 that they put in the swag bag, so like I ended up with duplicate copies. You Never Forget Your Worst, Millie Perez. This one was a special edition from Hello Lovely. It came in like a holiday book box. I want to say it's a Christmas or New Year's Eve romance, and I'm just not interested. My Lucky Number 13 by Piper Rain. This was from the Last Chapter, that sports romance box I mentioned earlier. This came with it as well. I read this one. I didn't like it. This author duo sometimes works for me, sometimes doesn't. A.L. Jackson, More of You. This is a Hello Lovely special edition. This is an author that doesn't always work for me, so like I'm not interested in this one. The Brit by Jodi Ellen Malpass. This is a special edition from Hello Lovely, which all of these are like signed as well, and this is one that I read and I just didn't care for it. Like it was fine, so I don't need it on my shelves. Hawk by Kat Savage. Again, another special edition from Hello Lovely. They did like a trope of the month book box back when, and so you wouldn't know which book or which author you're getting. You only knew the trope. And so yeah, this cover's really pretty at the bottom, but like I'm not gonna grab it. So The Hitman by Katrina Jackson, again another Hello Lovely special edition. This one I actually liked. It's like Mafia, but it's kind of like a prequel to a series, and like I don't need it on my shelves. Next are some special editions of Tate James from Mystic. So this is Heist and Forgery from her Velenchek legacy. I'm just not interested in this author. Grim Prince, Inez Johnson. This was a special edition from Hello Lovely again, from one of their trope things. I'm just not interested. And I have 2 books from Abby Millsaps. The author sent these to me. These are the first 2 books in her Boys of Lake Chapel series, which is a Why Choose football college romance series. I thought they were fun, but like I don't need them on my shelves. Sicko by Elmo Jones. This is a special edition from Hello Lovely again. This is just not an author that I'm trying to pick up, so not for me. On the Shore by Laura Pavlov. Somehow ended up with 2 of these. This is like the discreet cover, and I like the like people covers better for hers, so I have that one. This one I just don't need the duplicate of. Same thing, Meet Your Match, Candy Steiner. This is the discreet cover for her Kings of the Ice series. This is the first book in the hockey romance series. I like the people cover better, so I have that one on my shelves, and this is just a duplicate. Latte Darling, S.J. Tilley. This is a special edition from Hello Lovely box. I read this one, didn't really like it, so I don't need it. Next is Offside by Avery Keelan. I actually love this book. I just don't like this special edition. This was from cover to cover that they did, and I have the original cover and like some editions signed from the author on my shelves, and I just don't need this one. I don't like this edition. Dangerous King, Sienna Snow, another Hello Lovely box special edition. I'm just not interested in picking this up. Shortcake, Katana Collins. This one is a special edition from Hello Lovely box. The strawberry's cute, but like it's not something I'm trying to pick up. I think this is also Hello Lovely special edition, The 1 Month Boyfriend by Roxy Noir. Their trope of the month box was like a fun idea, but like honestly I got stuck with a lot of books that I'm not interested in. Same. Hello Lovely special edition. This is Tramp by Mary Elizabeth. I'm just not interested. Nothing about this is wanting me to pick it up. Filthy Cinder by Serena Ackroyd. This is an author I've never read before. This I think is Mafia, and I'm pretty sure this was in like a swag bag from a book signing. I just don't need it. These 2 books from M. Robinson go together. So this is from Mystic. So one is Sinful Arrangement. The other one's El Diablo, and they go together. I don't need them. This is not an author that I want to read. The Rogue King, Abigail Owen. This is another Hello Lovely box special edition. I actually read this book because it sounded really good and it looks really pretty, and I didn't really like it, so I don't need it. The Director by Renee Rose. This is another one that came in like a swag bag from a book signing. It got signed from the author, but it's just not one I'm trying to pick up. I think it's Billionaire. Her Want Wager, Grace Calloway. This is a historical romance author I love. I read this book though and did not like it. I do love the cover because I think she's since changed her cover style. But like, I don't like this book, so it doesn't need to stay on my shelves. Shameless, Lex Martin, another Hello Lovely box special edition. This author has never worked for me in the past, so I don't need it. Similarly, Shame by Fiona Cole. I did read this one, and it was like okay-ish, but this is another Hello Lovely box special edition, and I just don't need it on my shelves, so. Irish by Brittany Nicole. This one I read because I loved the cover and I thought it sounded really good, and I did not like this book, so this is also not an author that I'm trying to pick up and read more from, so I don't need it. Sinful Vow, Asia Monique. This is a Hello Lovely box special edition. I think it's a Mafia. I've heard it's okay, or that people enjoy it, but like I'm not really in a Mafia mood right now, so not for me. Some more Mystic special editions. These are Amo Jones. Again, they're still sealed, so this is In Fury Lives Mischief, Midnight Mayhem, and this is In Peace Lives Havoc. I don't even know what that means, but it's part of a series, I'm assuming. From Bell Book Box, we have Belle Aurora, so this is Raw and Raw Rebirth. All right, we're going to continue on. New angle. This is the bookshelf we're working with. It is double stacked. It's super filled to the ground. 2 bookshelves, I should say, filled with more. So let's just like start. So the first one is Even If It Hurts, Marty Mann. This is a really pretty special edition from that Australian Beyond the Pages book box. It has like a color interior, all the cool details. It's really pretty, but this author just isn't one that I am going to like. Another Marty Mann, When Darkness Ends. This is a special edition from Hello Lovely box. Again, I tried this author. Her books don't work for me. Smut by Karina Halley. I was sent this by the author, I'm pretty sure, when she decided to do new covers for this book. I read this author and I like some of her other books, but I don't think this one is really like up my alley. This one from Cora Riley. It is a special edition from Cover to Cover book box. It was like in a multi-author type of book box. I feel like this is just like an OG Mafia romance author, but it's not somebody who I read or support anymore. These 2 from Elodie Hart, Unfurl and Undulate, book 1 and 2 in the Alchemy series. These are like the original indie covers. I actually liked these 2 books in the series when I read them a couple years ago, but since then, like I don't think this type of like erotic BDSM club type of kink thing is for me anymore, so I don't really need these on my shelves. Catching Lightning, Kaylee King, Greer Rivers. I have read both of these authors and didn't enjoy their writing kind of separately, as well as I tried reading this book as well and could not get into it. I DNF'd it a couple years ago. It is signed by both authors. I met them both at a couple different signings. Sports romance, don't need it. When the Moon Hatched, Sarah A. Parker. This is the like hardcover edition that came out when she got picked up by Trad Publishing. I have tried reading this book like 2 or 3 times, DNF'd it every time, so I just don't think this is going to be a fantasy romance for me. This author isn't for me. Don't need her. These next two are from Mystic, so they're still sealed, which is why they're trying to pick up the light. This is Nero and King by S.J. Tilley. 2 mafia romances, part of her Alliance series. I read both of these books. I did not enjoy this series. All I Want by J. Daniels. This is a special edition from Hello Lovely box. I think it is pretty, but this author just has never appealed to me. Another one from Hello Lovely, The Love of My Next Life, Britt Benson. This is a special edition that they did. I just have never been pulled to pick up this author. Not So Lucky, Trilina Pucci, a special edition from Hello Lovely box. This is just not an author that I want to support. Cruel Devil, Daniela Romero. This one is another Hello Lovely box special edition. This was like when Spot Gloss kind of became popular for special editions. This is I think it's like YA, high school, new adult maybe type setting. It's never appealed to me. And Lit Love Rule, Frances M. Thompson. And this is another Hello Lovely box special edition. I do think the cover's pretty, but this, I think it's like more rom-com and it's just never appealed to me. Bitter Truth, Meredith Wild and Jillian Leota. This is actually an ARC copy that the authors sent my way. It comes with swag, which is trying to fall out. I have read it and I enjoyed it, but like not enough to keep the like book on my shelves. Again, another one that's an ARC. So this is A Pirate's Life for Tea by Rebecca Thorne. I got this from the publisher. This is like a cozy fantasy and I didn't really enjoy this one. I did read it, so I don't need the ARC copy on my shelves, but again, it would go like in a giveaway or a little free library. For Better or Worse by Ava Hunter. This one actually makes me kind of sad because the cover's so stinking pretty, but I did not like this book and I've read multiple books by this author now and her like cowboy western ones, Small Town, work for me so much better. So those series I love. I have those books on my shelves, but this book I just didn't love it at all and I don't need to keep it on my shelves even though it's so pretty, but I didn't like it. Praise by Sarah Kate. This is the indie cover, the original like edition. I read the series since book 1 came out. I love Sarah Kate. I love the Salacious Players Club series, but I don't need a duplicate, which is what this book is. I have a signed copy on my shelves and this is just an extra copy. The Black Lily by Juliet Cross. This is an author who I've read a ton of her books. I've liked some of her newer stuff I don't like at all. So this one I read and didn't like it. It's one of her older books. I actually found it at a used bookstore. It's signed to somebody else, so it can go on to somebody else again. The Gravity of Us by Brittany C. Cherry. This is just a duplicate where it's the like discreet cover that she did. So I have the original People cover on my shelves. I love her Element series so much, which this is a part of, but I have those original covers on my shelves. I have them signed by her when I've met her, so I don't need this like discreet cover of The Gravity of Us. Cherry Bomb, Carmel Rhodes. This was a Hello Lovely box special edition again for one of their Trope of the Month boxes. I read this book, didn't like it at all. Another Hello Lovely box, Sweet Addiction, J. Daniels. Again, like I mentioned, the art's really pretty, but this is just like not an author that has ever called to me, and I don't see myself ever picking up her books. Thorn, Ketley Allison. This is a special edition from Hello Lovely again. I think the cover is actually really pretty. This is still sealed in the plastic, but I don't think it's going to be for me. If I wanted to read this, I'm probably sure it's on KU. Bitten by Death, Holly Roberts. This is I'm guessing vampire from the cover. It's still sealed. It's a special edition from Hello Lovely again. Samantha Chase. This is Loving You. I was sent this from the author. I read this and it was cute and fun. It's like Small Town, but I don't love it enough to like keep a copy on my shelves. Syndicate of Sins by Marie Maravilla. This is another Hello Lovely box special edition, a mafia romance. I've never been called to like try this one out. A special edition from Eternal Embers. I cannot stand these slip cases, which is what this is in. I've never opened this one. So this is Ivy Smoke. It's Temptation, Addiction. This author I've actually never even heard of. Never heard anybody read her books, so I don't need it and I really can't stand a slip case. Rebellious by Christy Marie. The author was super sweet and sent me a signed copy with a ton of swag. I just never was pulled to read this one. It is a sports romance, so I don't need it. If I wanted to read it, it's probably on KU. Sabrina's Guide to Searching for Someday by Cynthia A. Rodriguez. Honestly, this cover does nothing for me. It does not make me want to pick up this book. It's a special edition from Hello Lovely, and I'm just not pulled in. These three are Jennifer Hartman special editions from cover to cover, so it's really pretty. The actual spines, like you can see, it has kind of the heartbeat that matches up, which I think is really cool. But these special editions are duplicates, so like I have multiple special editions of Still Beating on my shelves. I have Lotus. This one actually has really cool like textured embossing that you can see here. The Wrong Heart. I love the gold on here. But these three books, I have multiple editions of them on my shelves, and these three are just like my least favorite editions. Free Fall by Sarah Kate. This is a special edition from Marley's Must Read Romances. I think this edition is absolutely stunning, but this is just not a book that I'm intrigued to pick up from Sarah Kate. I hated the first book, which was I think was Gravity, so I don't want to continue on with this duet, and I don't need this one even though it's so pretty on my shelves. All right, next up is this gorgeous special edition of Credence by Penelope Douglas. This was a Hello Lovely box special edition years ago. It's one of my all-time favorite covers. The only reason this one is in my like giveaway slash get rid of pile is because it's a duplicate. So I already have this book on my shelves. Like I mentioned, it's one of my favorites. This is signed by the author, so I feel like somebody else would love, love, love to have this edition, and I don't need a duplicate. Similar with this one, Welcome to the Dark Side, Gianna Darling, another Hello Lovely box special edition. I honestly don't remember how I ended up with two copies. This is signed. It's super pretty. One of my favorites in the Fallen Men series. But again, I just don't need two of the exact same special edition on my shelves. Love Shove in New York in M. Patel. This is a special edition from Hello Lovely box again. This one's still sealed up. This was part of their like trope of the month box, which honestly, most of those were misses for me. At the time, you didn't know like what book, which cover, which title you were getting. You only knew the trope, and it was kind of like a chance type of situation. So this one, I'm just not interested in a rom-com. Only for the Week, Natasha Bishop. This is another Hello Lovely box special edition. Honestly, this cover does nothing for me. I love this book. I read it, enjoyed it, very much like Summer Fling, but this cover just does not work for me, so I don't need this edition on my shelves. The Fall Up, Ali Martinez, another Hello Lovely box special edition. Love the cover. It's actually really pretty. I love the purple and pinks, but this author, I have read her before, and this book's just not grabbing my attention, calling me to read it. Our Finest Hour by Jennifer Milliken. This is a special edition from the last chapter. I actually do want to read this author one day, but probably not this book. I've heard better things about like her small town romances. Another one of those super frustrating, at least to me, slipcases. This is M. Robinson. This is from Eternal Embers again. The books in here are Second Chance Vow, Second Chance Contract. This is an author that I've just never been intrigued to read or try out. I don't think her books would be for me. I can't stand a slipcase. This was during when I had like Eternal Embers. I was subscribed to them and you couldn't like skip, so I just kind of ended up with a lot of books that I don't want. All right, another one from Eternal Embers. This is a Nyla K. 2 special edition. So we have a Distorted and To Burn in Brutal Rapture. So these are still sealed up. Again, this is just an author that I've never been intrigued to try out. I don't think her books would be for me. The Co-op by Tara DeWitt, another one from Eternal Embers. This was a collab they did with like somebody on social media. And while this edition is really pretty, I love the blue and everything happening on it, this is a book from the author that I just didn't really like. Meet Me Halfway, Lillian T. James, another one from the last chapter this time. This pink, just all over pink, does nothing for me. I have read this book and I didn't enjoy it. Daddy's Angel by K.A. Knight. This is a last chapter, a book box special edition. This was like a Daddy Kink, I think, book box where a few of the books I liked, and this is one I tried and did not enjoy. This is another one that was in that same last chapter Daddy Kink type of book. So this is Golden Wings and Pretty Things, Kaylee King. I read this one and did not like it. I don't think this author's for me. 1% of You, last chapter book box. This is Michelle Gross. This is a, I think like pregnancy, surprise pregnancy, something like that book box where there was another like multi-author. I got a few that I wanted and this one came with it too. Also from the last chapter, this is A Chance Encounter, Nikki Ash. I'm guessing it's Rockstar with like the musician kind of moments on the cover. This is an author that I've read a bunch of her books and I enjoy her books, but I don't like love them to justify keeping this on my shelves. I'm also like not a Rockstar fan. So 2 from Greer Rivers. So this is Phantom and Rouge. This is an author who I've met at multiple signings. I pre-ordered these books from her. I think the author's really sweet and nice, and I wanted to support her. I actually did read Phantom, and it's like a dark Phantom of the Opera retelling. I was super excited excited for it, but I sadly didn't like it, and so I never continued on, so I don't need these editions on my shelves. The Truth About Heartbreak by B. Celeste. Pretty sure I've read this author in the past, or I've read this book years ago. She's just not an author that I've ever been wanting to like pick up again since. Axel by Samantha Whiskey. This is another last chapter book box special edition. I think it's like a sports romance. I want to say hockey. The blue just doesn't do anything for me. This is like a multi-author book box, and I ended up with this one when I wanted like other ones in the box. Another one of those really frustrating, at least to me, those slip cases from Eternal Embers, Nikki Ash and Kay Webster. The two books in it are Hidden Truths and Stolen Lies. I actually do think these editions are pretty looking, but I've never been intrigued to pick them up. Until I Get You, Claire Contreras. This is a Fit Teacher Rachel special edition. This actually came with like another one that I wanted, a different special edition. This book I read, I did not like it, so I don't want this edition on my shelves. This is like a darker, I guess, hockey romance. When the Stars Fall by Emery Rose. This is a special edition from that Beyond the Pages Australian book box, so it's going to have like color interior. It has foiling, it's sealed, so I'm not going to open it. I think I actually read this one, or I've read another from this author and I didn't like it. Another one from that same book box, so again, Beyond the Pages in Australia. This is Weight of Regret, KK Allen. It's still sealed up. I'm not going to open it, but it's color interior, all the things. I've read this author and her books don't really work for me. Like, they're just okay, so I don't need this. Ledge by Stacey McEwen. This is a special edition that Dark and Quirky did. Super pretty metallic blue edges. I actually loved the character art and the end papers in here. This looked absolutely stunning. I read it. I didn't like it. It's a fantasy romance and it did not work for me. Southern Storms by Brittany Cherry. This is a special edition that the other like romance author Lucy Eden did. The like underside I think is decorative. Yes, and like the reversible dust jacket moment. This is one that was a special edition like combined with a Kennedy Ryan. I wanted the Kennedy Ryan, kind of ended up with this one too. It's from the Compass series, which I actually don't enjoy. I don't like this book, so I don't need it on my shelves. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, a special edition from Bookish Box. It's still sealed up, which is why it's trying to shine from the lights. This is just a book that I don't like. I actually read Fourth Wing as an ARC reader and I did not enjoy it, so I actually have the ARC. I have the pre-order of the first copy of it. They're all signed to me though, so I don't know what to do with those, but in the meantime, I have this special edition that I can just get rid of because I know people love this series and like I'm just not that girl. Chasing the Wild, Elliot Rose. This is one from Dark and Quirky. I actually read this book or read this author and didn't really like her style of like just very spicy romance. I'm just not in that mood anymore. This cover as well just really reminds me of The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker, and I just kind of can't get over the fact that it's so similar and I don't really like the vibe. Crew by Tejan. This is another Dark and Quirky and I think Novel Ground special edition. Really pretty silver edges. This is just not an author that I've ever been drawn to read. The Grip trilogy by Kennedy Ryan. This is a chunky, thick boy. When I bought this, I actually thought I was getting like each individual paperback, so my mistake. Don't need this chunker of a book on my shelves. I have all of the original covers on my shelves already, so I don't need this one as well. Next is this collector's edition of Gothicana by Rune X. So this one I wanted to support the author like a few years ago. I pre-ordered it. It's a really pretty like sprayed black edges. It has cool end paper and like this collector's edition moment and like some other special features within. It's signed by the author. It has this really cool like embossing from her. This book I actually didn't really like. I think I gave it like 3 stars originally, and like the more time away from this book I've had, I really don't like it, so I don't need this collector's edition on my shelves. Somebody else I'm sure would love it. 2 books by LJ Shin and Parker S. Huntington. So we have My Dark Romeo, My Dark Desire. I think the covers are absolutely stunning. I was sent these by the authors. They're both just really pretty. I've never been intrigued to read them. I think they're both signed by the authors as well, so that's cool. I'm sure somebody else would love to have them. Absinthe by Winter Renshaw. This is a special edition that a Bell Book Box did. Love the gold, like coppery metallic sprayed edges. I've just never been pulled to read this author, and I'm not going to. Burn for Me, Sarah Kate. This is a special edition that I think Bell Book Box did. Has pretty sprayed edges. I'm pretty sure it is decorative. Yes, under as well. This is just not one from Sarah Kate that I want to read. I like some of her books, but like this book is not one for me. Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. I actually pre-ordered this one when the author got picked up from Indie to Trad, and I think the edition is stunning. I love the golden green. I wanted to love this book, and I honestly just did not like it. And I've only heard worse things like about the second book in the series, so I have no plans of continuing on, so I don't think I need this one on my shelves, even though I love a like full color map moment. Oof, I don't need it. The Dark King by Gina L. Maxwell. This is actually a really pretty special edition that Bookish Box did. So sprayed edges. Their editions are always so stinking stunning. Cover art, all the things, reversible dust jacket moment. I actually did read this book and enjoyed it. It's like a kind of vampires in Vegas type of paranormal but contemporary setting. I enjoyed it, but not enough to like keep it on my shelves, if that makes sense. Another one of those frustrating to me slipcases, Jennifer Hartman. This is from Eternal Embers again. I think these are like the first 2 books or early books that Jennifer wrote. So we have Coda and Aria. I think they're like musician themed. Again, I don't really love musician romances, and I'm not intrigued to check these out. And I do not love a slipcase moment. Place Without You by Julie Ann. This is one I got at a book signing, and I thought it was really cute and pretty. I thought I would read it. I never did. I think it's like musician, rock star, so I probably shouldn't have even bothered getting it. The Kingmaker by Kennedy Ryan. Honestly, this one is just a duplicate. So this is the first book in the All the King Men's duet. I already have this original like indie cover on my shelves, and I don't need a duplicate of the exact same book on my shelves. The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. Honestly, I really liked this book, but I don't really need to keep a copy. If I wanted to read it, it's on Libby. Like I could read the audio, I could get the ebook anytime I want, so I did like it. But again, I just don't need the physical copy. All the Light We Cannot See, Anthony Doerr. I read this one recently and I did not really like it. I thought it was just okay. Love that it's floppy. Love the pretty cover. And it didn't really work for me. Like it was just okay. Dark Notes by Pam Godwin. This is one that is from Mystic Book Box. I think it's really pretty. But this is a book that I didn't really like when I first read it, and I like it even less like years later. It's like forbidden, student teacher. That's not really my vibe, and I just don't need this one on my shelves. I know people who love it though. Same thing, Dark Notes, Pam Godwin. This is a special edition that Hello Lovely Box did. I think it's really pretty, but again, I just don't love this book enough to have it on my shelves. Where We Started, Ashley Munoz. This is the first book in her Stone Riders MC series. This is a special edition that Hello Lovely Box did when they were switching to like hardcover special editions for a bit. This book and series I love, but I don't love this cover enough to keep it. I have the original like people covers on my shelves that I was sent from the author signed, so I don't need this one too. All right, next up, I feel like I'm getting into some like more controversial choices. So first up is the Twisted series by Anna Huang. I actually love this series, but I don't love them enough. She's not like a favorite author of mine to keep these on my shelves. The first 3 are like the indie copies. This one is from Bloom, and I just, yeah, I don't need them on my shelves. I have special editions that I like more. So the first one, of course, is Twisted Love. We have Twisted Games, my favorite in the series. Twisted Hate, I loved as well, and Twisted Lies. Again, I have special editions of a few of these on my shelves, and like I don't love them enough to have like multiple copies. The next series that I actually want to get rid of is the Chloe Walsh, like whatever Boys Atonement series. I actually bought these from Eternal Embers. These are special editions that they did, which I think are absolutely stunning and so stinking pretty, and I pre-ordered them before having read the series, and so I've only read the first 2 books, Binding and Keeping 13, and while I liked them enough when I read them, I actually liked the first book more than book 2. Honestly, like after book 2, I didn't have an interest in like reading more from the author, and I just don't think her writing style is going to be for me, so I don't need these editions on my shelves. Like the more time away from them, they just don't really work for me. All right, next up I have a bunch from Devney Perry. So I have loved her books for years, have read a ton of hers in the past. These are ones that either I don't like or I don't want them on my shelves. So Garnet Flats, part of the Eden series. I just didn't like this one in the series. I used to think I needed the whole series on my shelf, and I realized that's not the case. I can only keep my favorites. The next one is Sunlight by Devney Perry. This again is one that I actually had pre-ordered, and then I loved the first book, Crossroads. Did not like this book at all, so I don't need it on my shelves. More in the Eden series. This is Sable Peak. I actually ended up with 2 copies for some reason. I think I pre-ordered and was like sent one too. This is one in the series that I didn't like. 2 editions of The Outpost by Devney Perry. So we have this special edition copy, which is from Eternal Embers. I just don't like this cover art style, and I didn't really like this book, so I can't like justify keeping it. Same. This is The Outpost. This is the original like Jameson Valley series cover. It's just not one of my favorites in the series, so I don't need it. Then we have 2 from the Runaway series. So Forsaken Trail, Quarter Miles, book 3 and 4 in the series. I actually love this series, but these 2 I have like special editions on my shelves, and I don't need like the originals anymore. Coach by Devney Perry. I actually love this one. It's one of my favorites, but I already have a different version of it on my shelves, and I don't need duplicates, even though I did like this book. Hold Me Today. This one is a special edition from Dark and Quirky. I do like the holographic on here. Sprayed edges are pretty, but like not enough for me to try out this book. I'm just not intrigued. Beautiful Hearts by Emma Scott. This is a duet. This was a bind up, I think, from Eternal Embers. This is an author I've read a few of her books. I love one, and the rest, like, I have not been intrigued to pick up more. Black Swan Affair, Kale Krieg. This is a Bell book box. Really pretty edges, super pretty, all the things. This is one I've never been intrigued to pick up. Might have worked for me at one time, but I have no interest in it. We have Not Really Engaged, Kindle Hale. The author sent this to me, and I'm just not intrigued to pick it up. Dear Ava by Ela Madden Mills. I actually love this book, and this is during the time where I want to say like 5 years ago at the beginning of 2020 when authors, this was like one of the first authors I saw do like a special edition or a different edition of her book. So like these cartoon covers weren't really a thing at the time, and she was like one of the first ones to do it, and I loved this book, so I decided to get it because I thought it was so unique doing that style of art, which of course became a huge thing. And like I don't really love the style, and I don't feel ever like intrigued to pick up the book again. So even though I loved it, I just don't need it on my shelves anymore. 2 books for Faye Delacour, a historical romance author. I would send both of these from the publisher Lady He Lost and A Lady's Guide to London. I read the first book and I thought it was just okay, so I was never intrigued enough to continue on, and I just don't need them on my shelves. Quarterback Sneak, Candy Steiner. This is a special edition that the Last Chapter book box did. This book, I actually do love it, but I just don't love this special edition cover enough to keep this one on my shelves. Lucky Hit by Hannah Cohen. Again, this is from Beyond the Pages, so that Australian book box that has foiling, that has the really pretty like cover interiors. This is just not one that I have read and feel like pulled to keep it on my shelves. Be Still My Heart by Emily McIntyre and Savar Miller. This one I actually really liked. It's romantic suspense, but again, I could find the audiobook on my Libby, on Hoopla. It's available through my library. If I wanted to read it again, I could, and I don't need a physical copy. Catch the Sun by Jennifer Hartman. This one is actually really pretty. I love the orange sprayed edges. This book I actually read and I just didn't like it. This is one of her like YA contemporary romances. It didn't work for me. I don't need it. The Summer We Fell by Elizabeth O'Rourke. This is a special edition from, I think, Dark and Quirky. It is very pretty. Comes with like a signed thing and all the art on the interior. This is just one that I didn't really like. A Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simone. This is a special edition that Hello Lovely box did. I didn't like this book enough to keep it on my shelves, even though I think this special edition is actually really pretty. All the Little Lies by S.J. Silvis. I think this is actually pretty. I like the gold, the like kind of plaid moment in black and white. This I think is like a prep school, high school, new adult maybe type of setting that I'm just not intrigued to pick up. It's a special edition from cover to cover. Another one from S.J. Silvis. So this is Dead Girls Never Talk. This is a special edition from the Last Chapter book box. Again, this author has worked for me like a couple times, but I'm not intrigued enough to check out any more from her. From Here to Eternity, A.L. Jackson. This is a special edition that Dark and Quirky did. It's very pretty. I love the green. This is like a multi-author book box. I got this one before having read it. I have since read this book and I didn't like it, and I just don't think this author is for me going forward, so I don't need this. Restore Me by J.L. Seegers. This is one that I actually love. This is the indie cover of it, and I have a special edition on my shelves, and I don't need like multiple editions of it, even though I love, love, love this book. Another one of those slipcases from Eternal Embers that I just loathe. So this is The Pool Boy and the Doctor in her Nashville Neighborhood series. I do love this series, but I have other editions of them on my shelves. I don't need this super annoying to me slipcase. The Takeover by T.L. Swan. I actually love this book. I got it signed from the author when she came to the US after not having been here for like 5 years. So that is really cool, but I just have never been pulled again to think about this book, read it again. So while I loved it, I just don't need it on my shelves anymore. Wolf by Paisley Hope. This one I read and I enjoyed it, but not enough to like keep it on my shelves. And this author in general, just like she's okay for me. Pen Pal by J.T. Geisinger that I got in like a giveaway, I want to say. It's definitely more like erotic thriller, which at the time I know it was like marketed as a contemporary romance, a dark romance. It's definitely not that. Fangirl Down, Tessa Bailey. This is a special edition from Illumicrate or Afterlight. I think this edition is super pretty. This is actually one of Tessa Bailey's that I did enjoy, but not enough to like keep a copy on my shelves. Reckless by Katie Golding, a special edition from Hello Lovely. I just don't really like the cover art for this one. This is a sports romance. I've never been intrigued to pick it up. Between Hello and Goodbye by Emma Scott. This is actually the Emma Scott one that I love, and I have other editions of this on my shelves. This is from The Bookworm, which is a no longer book box that exists. At the time, this was run by like Colleen Hoover and her family, I want to say. These next two are like hardcovers of the heroine covers for Gianna Darling. So we have Welcome to the Dark Side and Inked in Lies. These are my two favorite in the Fallen Men series, and so at the time I was collecting like all the editions of them I could get, but then I realized I don't really need those. I have other special editions of these two books that I love more, so I don't need these like like hardcover heroine covers. I'm sure somebody else would love them. These two from Corinne Michaels. So these are the new like trad paperback reprint. So this is All Too Well and then Here and Now. I actually think the like sprayed drippy edges are really pretty. I've read both of these and I just don't enjoy this series. These are like small town, more military centric romances, which just don't work for me at all. And this author is just kind of more hit and miss for me. This series has been a miss. Next I have two editions of From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. So this is an author that I just don't think will work for me in the future. I've read some of her books in the past and I used to like them, but she doesn't work for me anymore. So this is the original paperback. I've actually never read this one, but it's an ice skating one. And then this is a special edition that I got from Fairy Loot, which I grabbed it at the time because I just didn't want to like not have it if I ended up loving it. And like I mentioned, I just don't think it's going to be for me. Very pretty. I don't need it, and I know people who love her books. Next up, I have some special editions from Dark and Quirky. So this is Take You Down, McKay Marie. I do like the neon green on here. This is like a rockstar romance though, and like I mentioned earlier, I just don't enjoy rockstar romances, so I've never been intrigued to pick this one up. Another one from Dark and Quirky is Hawk by Jessie Hall. This one, the neon kind of blue color, is really pretty. But again, it's just not one that I've ever wanted to pick up. Never read this author, don't want to support this author. I have no interest in checking it out. Another Dark and Quirky special edition, another author that I don't like or want to support. This is Lord of London Town. I do think the cover, sprayed edges, all of it is very pretty, but this is probably one from this author I had enjoyed the most. And even that, like, I don't love her books. Cusp of Darkness by Olivia Prea. This is another Dark and Quirky special edition. Their book box was like where you had to get 4 books when you got a book box, and so some of those times I'd end up with like maybe 2 or 3 that I loved and end up with like 1 or 2 that I didn't want. Same. It's Dark and Quirky special edition, A City of Salvation, Marie Maravilla. I love the green on here. I think it's really pretty. This is just not an author I've ever been tempted to pick up, and if I did, she's probably on a KU. These two were from Bell Book Box. So this is Mine for Yours by Harlow Ray and 10 Trends to Seduce Your Best Friend by Penny Reed. Both are authors I've never been tempted to pick up. These are like hardcover, sprayed edges, special editions, and again, just these like rom-coms I've never been intrigued or tempted to pick up. Next is Embers from Claire Kent. So I actually love this book. I love this author. She writes post-apocalyptic romances, which I'm obsessed with. This is just the case of it's a duplicate. So I had pre-ordered this version and then eventually the author actually ended up sending me a signed copy, which was so sweet. So I don't need 2 of the same book, especially when one of them is signed to me. If This Is Love by Jewel E. Ann. This is a really pretty special edition from that Beyond the Pages Australian book box. That interior, color art. This is actually a book that I love by Jewel E. Ann, but I have other editions of it on my shelves, and this one, like, the cover doesn't really do anything for me. Undertow by Elizabeth O'Rourke. This is like one of her first books. I think she has since republished, re-edited it, all the things. So this is one that I thought was good. I liked it at the time, but I have since read better books from her. Love and Hockey by Monty J, another really pretty special edition. This is again from that Beyond the Pages book box in Australia. So it has like interior color art for like some of the chapter headers and things. This is another one where I actually did read this book after getting the special edition and I liked the book, but I didn't love it enough to have a copy of it on my shelves. These next 3 are all Tegan Hunter special editions, and I just have duplicates on my shelves of hers, so I don't need these. This is Neutral Zone, one of the books in her hockey series. I love her writing. They're super fun, but I have like the original covers of these that I actually enjoy more. This was from The Last Chapter. Sin Bin by Tegan Hunter. This is in the same hockey series. This book is actually one of my favorites in the series, but I have other covers of it on my shelves. This was a special edition that Eternal Embers did. Blind Past Tegan Hunter. This is the same hockey romance series. This is from Hello Lovely box, which again, I just don't need like special editions of them on my shelves, and this is actually my least favorite in the series. Good Guys Don't Lie by Macaulay Smelter. This is from The Last Chapter book box. This is part of her boys sports romance series. They're very like low angst sports, I would say, so it's not one of my like favorite series. This isn't an author that I like super love, even though this series was fun. Iced Out by Veronica Eden. I actually love this book so much. It's a hockey romance and I just have multiple editions of it on my shelves, and this is just one of the ones that is not one of my favorites. It's from Eternal Embers. Blitz by Daphne Perry. This is one of her football sports romances. This is actually one in the series that I wasn't really a fan of, so I don't need it on my shelves. The Striker by Anne Huang. This is the Barnes & Noble like special edition that they did, so it's like black and purple instead of the white and purple. I do think it's very pretty. I had pre-ordered this because I thought I would love it, and sadly I just didn't like it enough to keep a copy of it. Fake Empire by C.W. Farnsworth. I think this is another dark and quirky special edition. Very pretty sprayed edges. Love the chess pieces. But again, just not one I've ever been tempted to pick up. Another Marnie Mann special edition. This is The Bachelor. This is actually really pretty because it's like a velvet cover all over. This author, I just don't really enjoy her writing, and so she's not for me. Pretty edition. This is from Hello Lovely box. Tease by Melanie Harlow. This is a special edition that I think Dark and Disturbed did. Yes, at one point with an influencer. This book I actually like. I just don't really like this cover. Doesn't work for me. Slash I have other favorites from this author that I'm keeping, and this just isn't one of them. Another Melanie Harlow, Drive Me Wild. This is a special edition that Eternal Embers did. I like this series, but this is like one of my least favorite in the series. And again, I'm just keeping favorites for this author because not all of her books work for me. Forbidden Hearts, Corinne Michaels, a special edition that Fit Teacher Rachel and Logan's Library did when they collabed. This book I love, but I have other editions of it that I love more, so I don't need multiples of the same book, even though I love it. The Prince of Prohibition by Marilyn Mark. This is a fantasy romance that's kind of described as The Great Gatsby, kind of like 1920s Prohibition, mixed with ACOTAR vibes. I read this one. I did not like it at all. Finding You by Lena Hendricks. Super pretty. Love the foiling. This is a special edition from Hello Lovely box. And this author just doesn't work for me, and I don't think she's going to, so I don't need this on my shelves. Two books by Amy Dawes. I was actually sent these from the publisher, so we have a 9-month contract, and then we have a 7-year itch. These were like republished, I want to say, with like new covers. I think the sprayed edges are very, very pretty. They come with a ton of swag, but like they're not books that I would check out, slash I've heard not so great things that I know wouldn't be up my alley. These next two are both from Emily McIntyre, so these are part of her Never After series, which is like a darker fairy tale retelling where the villains get their HEAs. So I actually do love both of these books. This is crossed and hexed. And at one point I wanted to collect my favorites in the series, but like at some point I can't keep all of the books I love on my shelves. I have other like favorites I love more, if that makes sense, so I don't need these ones anymore. A Sky Full of Love, Lorna Lewis. I think this is like a lit fic. I was sent this from Amazon Publishing kind of unsolicited, and so it's not one that I'm intrigued to check out, and if I wanted to, it's on KU with Read and Listen. Also came in the same Amazon Publishing like unsolicited box that I got, so this is All Superheroes Need PR, Elizabeth Stevens. This is like more rom-com. I've read this author before, and I don't really enjoy her writing, so I don't think this rom-com would be for me either. And then the last one that was part of that Amazon Publishing box was After Paris by Mary Ellen Taylor. I actually did read this one because it's historical fiction, and I did not like this book, so she can go. Another historical fiction I read recently, The Second Mrs. Astor by Shauna Abe. This one I thought was okay, but not enough to like keep on my shelves. Burnout by Rebecca Jinshak. This one is one that I actually absolutely love. I love, love, love this series so much. This is one of my favorite sports romance series, but this is just a duplicate. So I have another edition of this book that has the foiling on it that I bought, so that matches my other ones I have. So I don't need this cover without the foiling. I think it is signed, so love that. So somebody will get a fun one. Stay by Tia Louise. This one I actually loved years ago. I actually met this author at a signing where I got it signed, so I do love this book, but it's not one I ever think about or want to like reach for or reread or anything like that. Next are Haunting and Hunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. These are special editions from Mystic. These are sealed, so they're very, very shiny. I just never bothered opening them. I read the first book years ago, didn't really like it, didn't get the hype, never continued on. This author is not for me, so I think somebody else would love these editions, and it just ain't me. Next are some more from Gianna Darling. So this is Wildest Dreams. This is a bind-up duet, a special edition from Eternal Embers. I love the pink on here. I read the first book in this like bind-up, and I didn't really enjoy it. When Villains Rise, When Heroes Fall by Gianna Darling. I love the covers so much, especially the pop of red. These are special editions that Mystic Book Box did a few years ago. This is the Anti-Heroes duet, and I read the first book, didn't like it, and so I've never continued on. I've just realized that Gianna Darling, like only her Fallen Men series honestly works for me. And then same with these, Welcome to the Dark Side, Inked in Lies. I love the Fallen Men series. These are my two favorites in the series, but I don't need like multiple editions of them. I already have like the original editions as well as a special edition for each, and these two are just kind of like the more discreet covers she did. First up, we'll talk about all of these. So this is Sophie Lark's editions that I have tons of her books, have all of her original covers. This is an author that I no longer support, want to have her books on my shelves, so all of these are going to go away. Do not care about her books or her anymore. Next up is a special edition of Kingdom of Stars and Shadows by Holly Renee. This is from the Bookish box. I read this book, didn't really like it. This edition is very pretty, but again, I didn't love this one, so I don't need it. Devious Lies, Parker S. Huntington. Love the red foil in here. This is from Bell Book Box. I never have wanted to pick up this author. Body Check by Tegan Hunter. I actually really enjoyed this book. It's a hockey romance, first in a series, but it's just kind of not my favorite from her, so I don't need to keep it on my shelves. Meet Your Match, Candy Steiner. This is a special edition from Fit Teacher Rachel and Logan's Library that they did together. This is just a duplicate, so I have the original like people cover that I enjoy of this one. I like this book. I just don't really love this cover enough to keep it on my shelves. Carnal Urges by J.T. Geisinger. This is like a special edition, alternate edition that the author had at one point, and I already have like the people covers on my shelves, so I don't really want to keep this other like alternate edition as well. I think one edition is good enough for me for my shelves. So this is Mafia Mistress, Mafia Darling by Mila Finelli. These are special editions that the Last Chapter book box did. So at one point I thought they were pretty and fun, but now I just don't really enjoy them, and I have the originals on my shelves that I like more and I've gotten signed, so I don't need these anymore. Next is the Kimura Chronicles bind up from Cora Riley. So this has the first 3 books I think in the series, which at one point loved this series, loved her for like an OG mafia romance author, but I've never been tempted again to check her books out, especially nowadays. This is so chunky. The first 3 books, I don't need it on my shelves taking up space. Same here, Sweet Temptation, Cora Riley. I actually loved this one. It was a lot of fun. But again, just not an author I think about / want to support anymore. I don't need her books on my shelves. Back here as well, we just have some more special editions of Sophie Lark, which again, I'm just not interested in supporting this author going forward. Weak Side by S.J. Silvis. I love this book. I just don't need this edition on my shelves. I have the original. It's signed. This is pretty. It's pink. It's a special edition from Last Chapter. Another hockey romance. This is The Puck Secret. Jan Wright. Actually love this book, but I have a special edition where the cover's stunning. And so this original cover, I just don't need it on my shelves as well. Then I have 2 from Lauren Asher. So we have Redeemed. This is a special edition that Eternal Embers did. This whole series is like an F1 series. Throttled is the first book. This is a special edition from cover to cover. One of my favorite special editions because of that red foiling. But the series I honestly just don't think about a lot, and while I enjoyed them at the time, she's not a favorite author for me. I know other people who would love to have these books on their shelves. Then I have some Mystic Box special editions of Soam Sketcher. So this is Sinners Anonymous, and then we have the other 2 books, which are Sinners Condemned and Consumed. These are still sealed up. I actually read this book, did not like it. I've heard the books get better, but like I'm not intrigued enough, didn't like the writing enough to try to continue on myself. Great and Precious Things, Rebecca Yarros. I picked this up at a signing that the author was at. This book was set in Denver, which is where the signing was at. So I thought that was like fun to grab while I was there, but this is just not an author that works for me, so I don't even want to try this one. The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. This is the original indie cover. She's a chunky one. I did love this book when I read it like probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. I probably don't want to read it again because I feel like this author has stopped working for me. And these next 2 are both by Jess Wisecup. So we have Between Wrath and Mercy and Between Despair and Hope. These are chunky special editions from Bookish Box. So this is actually one of my favorite fantasy romance series. The interior art is just so stinking pretty. I actually don't like these pastel editions though that they decided to do. The original indie covers are these like really pretty darker colors. And so while these are very pretty, the art is stunning. I already have like special editions of these on my shelves that I enjoy more from the author. A Crown of Ivy and Glass by Claire Legrand. This is from the Bookish Box, which I was a subscriber to them at one point. I am no longer. Haven't been subscribed to them for a couple years, but these are some editions that I've had from the past. So pretty, but I've never been intrigued to pick it up. Be the Girl, K.A. Tucker. This I think is one of like her YA or new adult. I've never been intrigued to pick it up. I don't even remember how I got it. I think it's from Bell Book Box. A Dark and Quirky special edition, Don't Kiss the Bride, Carrie Ann Cole. I love the pale pink, but this is actually one from her that I don't even like, so I don't need this one. It came in like a multi-author box, so this was like one of the 4 that I didn't want. And then another Dark and Quirky special edition. This is The King by Nana Malone. This is a really pretty edition. It's still sealed. I didn't even bother opening it because again, it's just like came in a multi-author box and I didn't want this one in it. Next are some Book of the Month. So this is A Fate Inked in Blood Dracula, Danielle L. Jensen. I haven't heard the greatest things about this book, so I'm not intrigued to check it out. A Sorceress Comes to Call, T. Kingfisher. Again, another book of the month. It has spot gloss, which is fun. This one I read and I enjoyed it, but it's not enough for me to want to keep it on my shelves. Bare Bones in the Midnight Soil, V. Schwab. Again, book of the month. This one I read. I was really excited to get to it because I heard it was like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which is one of my favorites from this author. And this book just did not feel the same way. I did not enjoy it. It's so slow. It's like Sapphic. Vampires should have been more fun. I didn't enjoy it. It's super slow and boring. Hidden Nature, Nora Roberts. I was actually sent this from her publisher, which was so fun. The spiderweb is so cool, but sadly this is her newer release that I did not love. These next ones are from Brenda Weaver. This is Leather and Lark and Butcher and Blackbird. These are book of the month versions, which I have read this whole trilogy. These actually two are not my favorites in the trilogy. I actually liked the last one more, so I just don't need these editions on my shelves anymore. It's not like an all-time favorite author for me, even though they were super fun. The Dark Corners, Megan Golden. I think this is a thriller, I want to say. The Dinner List by Rebecca Searle. This is like lit fic, almost like more magical realism. I actually loved this book when I read it years and years ago. I got it at a local used bookstore, so it will probably be going back there. This one I enjoyed, but not enough to like keep it on my shelves. Then You Happened by Kay Bromberg. I actually got sent this with some really cute swag. The little like cowboy pin right here in the middle is actually super fun. This one I got sent by a PR company, like kind of unsolicited. They just kind of send you books sometimes based off of tropes you might like, and I just have never been intrigued to pick up this author, so maybe I'll do a giveaway for this one. The Two Lives of Lydia Bird by Josie Silver. Read this one years ago from book of the month. I actually enjoyed this one. I thought it was kind of fun, magical realism, but I'm not ever going to pick it up again, and if I wanted to, it's on my library resources. A Sea of Unspoken Things, Adrienne Young, book of the month edition again. I had read this one hoping to love it because I've loved some books by this author, but I've also not liked some, and this was the case of I did not enjoy it. Very pretty, but I didn't love this one. Dinner for Vampires, Bethany Joy Lenz. This is another book of the month one. I had wanted to check this one out. It kind of sounded cool, like a memoir nonfiction, but I'm just never going to do it, and if I wanted to, I could get the audio from my library. Our Infinite Fates, Lori Stephen, and again, another book of the month one. I love the foiling on here. I actually read this book and did not like it, so I don't need to keep it. The Favorites by Lane Fargo, again, another book of the month one. I actually read this one at the beginning of the year. I liked it enough. I wasn't like obsessed loving it, but I don't need it to keep like a spot for it on my shelves. The Road to Bones by Demi Winters. I actually DNF'd this book / read half of it and never continued on. It wasn't like pulling me in. I didn't have anything against it, but I wasn't like loving it, and so then I got the book of the month edition. It has spot gloss. I wanted to read this one. It's like a Viking romantasy. I just don't think it's going to be for me. Like if I got halfway and I never felt pulled to like get back to it, that's kind of a sign. P.S. You're Intolerable by Julia Wolf. This is a special edition from Dark and Quirky. Very pretty. I actually read this one after getting the special edition, and I did not really like it, so it wasn't really for me. It came with really cool art and stuff though. The Girl in the Love Song by Emma Scott. This one I got at a book signing, I want to say. It's a special edition from Beyond the Pages, that book box in Australia. Love the foiling on here, but I just don't think this author's books are going to be for me, so I don't have any pull to read this one. The Trails of Sin by Pam Godwin. This is the complete series omnibus from the Beyond the Pages book box in Australia. Don't know why I got this because I never read this series. This has like really pretty interior color art in here, so it is very pretty. This author, besides like Sea of Ruin, I just don't think any of her other books are going to be for me, and that's okay. So this can go on to somebody who loves it. The Runaways from Devaney Perry. This is like a complete omnibus of that series. So this series I really enjoyed, but I don't need this omnibus. I have another one that's even prettier, signed by the author. More of those dang slipcases. Mia Sheridan. This is from Eternal Embers. We have Travis and Kyland in here. Mia Sheridan is an author that I've read before. I enjoy some of her books, some not really, and I'm just like not pulled to have like any other editions of hers on my shelves though. Another Eternal Embers slip box. So this is Mikalia Smeltzer. This is for her Sweet Dandelions Wild Flower Duet. These covers aren't really my favorite. I did read Sweet Dandelion and I enjoyed it, but like not enough to keep these editions on my shelves. Duke of Wrath, Mariah Stone. This is a historical romance. I read it. It was just okay. And actually this author sent me a special edition instead that I think is prettier, so I don't need duplicates on my shelves. Mine for a Moment by Katerina Mora. So so I had pre-ordered this Barnes & Noble like pink special edition, and then the publisher actually sent me a copy with the red version, which I actually thought is prettier. We have You Beautiful Thing You by Saffron A. Kent. This is an author that I don't really want to read. It came with like some trope cards as well from Lila Junco. I think I was sent this from the author. I've been meaning to do a giveaway for this for years, so I need to do that sooner than later. The Auction and The Vow by Maggie Cole. I was sent these from the author and I just never got around to them. They sounded fun at the time, but it's not really what I'm into nowadays. Ivy by Willa Nash, aka Devaney Perry. This is from her when she used to do like her 2-pen names and then she just combined them. So this has been republished with a new title and with her like Devaney Perry name as well. This one I actually didn't really love anyways. More crap from Sophie Lark, which we're not keeping. Written in the Scars by Adriana Locke. This again is from that Beyond the Pages, that special edition book box from Australia. So it has the color interior. It's very pretty. I've just never wanted to pick it up. I've read this author years ago and I just don't think her writing is for me overall. These next few, Bargain with a Rake by Sadie Bosk, To Seduce a Rogue by Tracy Sumner. These were special editions that like the last chapter did for historical romances, and I absolutely loathe how the covers look. I imagined them to be like super stunning. Like we actually didn't know the authors or covers that they were going to look like when we got them, and so this was kind of the style and I was not a fan. Like, no thank you. I wanted something better, like something clinch, something amazing historical. So super sad. I kept a few from the book box, but I don't need these. Hope After Loss by Amber Kelly. This is a special edition from the Bookaholic box. I bought this one because I think it also came with like a Catherine Cowles special edition, which I absolutely wanted. And so this, I haven't read this author. Her books are okay. They're just really not for me, so I don't need this. Love Me Today by A.L. Jackson. I actually do love this book, but I have other editions of it on my shelves I love more. This is from a book box that I think was Romance Cartel from Australia. Very pretty, but again, I have other editions of this book on my shelves I love, and I don't need so many of them. Husbands and Lovers, Beatrice Williams. I read this for a historical fiction book club I co-host. Didn't enjoy the book. Don't think this author's writing for me, so I don't need it. A special edition of The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I think this is from Bookish Box, if I remember correctly. And this one, I read this series, I read this author. I just don't think her writing is for me. I didn't love it as much as other people seem to, so don't need it on my shelves. The indie cover of Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This is just the case of I love, love, love this book, but I already have a foiled indie cover of it and I don't need a duplicate. And then the indie cover of The Serpent and the Wings of Night, Carissa Broadbent. At the time, I thought I would enjoy this one, and I sadly just didn't. I think it is, yeah, decorated though, so that's fun. But I just don't really enjoy this author's fantasy romance writing. She's not really for me. Two from Mystic Box. So these are Sam Mariano's Untouchable and Brutal Ambition. This is an author I've never been intrigued to read. These are still sealed. Not an author for me. This I think was my last book box from Mystic before I unsubscribed. Some more Mystic. This is Adelaide Forest. We have Beauty and Lies, Part 1 and Part 2. Came with art. They're still sealed. I've never opened them and don't plan to read this author. Some more Mystic, T.L. Smith. This is Locked Hearts and Chained Hands. Again, they're still sealed, have the art, all the things. Never interested in reading this author. Same Mystic, Pepper Winters. So this is Lunamar and Cor Amare. These ones are very pretty. They're sealed. This is an author I read probably like 8-9 years ago, and I just don't think her books are for me. I'm not in that dark romance mood anymore. All right, I have two books from TJ Klune. So this is Wolf Song and Raven Song. This is book 1 and I think book 3. These are actually both of the indie covers of this series. These are the only two that I had the indie covers of. I've actually since read the series a couple years back and I just didn't love this book as much as other people do, so I definitely don't need this copy on my shelves. Then this book as well, I did love it. It was one of my favorites in the series, but I have alternate editions of it that I like just as much, and so I just don't need this like one-off indie cover anymore. Claire Legrand, this is an arc of A Song of Ashen Moonlight. This says it's the second book in her Middle Mist trilogy, which I am not intrigued to pick this fantasy romance series up. I was sent this from a publisher unsolicited, and so again, arcs will probably go in like a little free library, maybe a giveaway. Next is Evie Drake Starts Over by Linda Holmes. I actually found this one at a little free library near me. I really actually loved this book. It was so much fun. Definitely more like women's fiction. There is a romance in here with the heroine of kind of like starting over, going back to her hometown, and then the hero as well. He's like a former baseball player there who is struggling with the yips, and so I actually really enjoyed this one. I thought it was really good, but again, if I want to reread it, I could just grab it from the library. Then I have 3 from Catherine Center. These are all from Book of the Month. I actually found these at used bookstores. So we have How to Walk Away, What You Wish For, Things You Save in a Fire. I enjoyed all of these. I like this author's writing when I'm in the mood for them, more women's fiction, and I liked these. But again, if I wanted to reread them, I could grab them from the library. Some more books by Devney Perry. So we have The Bluff, which is part of her Calamity Montana series. This was when she was doing her pen name Willa Nash. The Brawl, also in the Calamity Montana series. This one, again, you can see it says Devney Perry, writing as Willa Nash. She has since gotten rid of this pen name and just uses Devney Perry. So these have been redone with the Devney Perry name on them. This is a series that I did enjoy, but I have special edition covers of these on my shelves, so I don't need duplicates. And then another Devney Perry, this is the Bitter Riot Inn. This again is part of the Jameson Valley series, and overall I just don't love this series as much as other ones from her, so I don't need it. Love and Other Conspiracies by Mallory Marlowe. I actually really loved this one. It was so much fun. The heroine in here is a web series producer. The hero in here is a paranormal kind of conspiracy theorist, podcaster, and she wants to make a show out of his type of content, and so it's their romance. She's a non-believer in supernatural things, and he definitely believes. This one was really cute and fun. I got it from the publisher, and so I loved it. But again, it's another one that's just trad publishing, so if I wanted to get to it again, it's on my library. This is a special edition from Bookish Box. So this is Masters of Death by Olivier. I'm not sure how you say this author's name, but this is a really pretty special edition from Bookish Box. So it has this slipcase, and then it has the book as well. So Masters of Death. It's very pretty, but I've never been pulled to read it, even though it looks absolutely stunning. I'm very particular about fantasy romance, and so even though this one's really pretty, I've never been tempted to get to it, so it doesn't need to stay. Love Beyond the Stars by Jennifer Chipman. This one is very pretty. I loved the space setting. This is humans in space, and so it has sprayed edges. It came with a ton of swag from the author in here. This book I actually bought before I read it, so it came with the sprayed edges and all the fun swag, and this one, it was just okay for me. This author's writing overall is just okay for me, so I don't need it on my shelves. Look the Part, Julie Ann. I actually loved this book years ago when I read it. I probably wouldn't enjoy it today, and this author's just very hit and miss for me, so I don't need to keep this one on my shelves. Wicked Things by Nyla Kay. This one I got at a book signing, so it's a MM anthology bind up of I think monster romances. There is definitely some spicy art in here, which I can't show. This one I got at a book signing, so I went around at the very end of the signing, and this author was still at their table, and they had a couple signed editions of this that they were selling for relatively not that expensive, and so I decided to check it out. I've never been tempted to read this, and I just don't think this author would be for me, even though it was really fun to meet them, and I love supporting authors at book signings, but sometimes you end up with books that maybe aren't going to be for you. 2 dark and quirky special editions of Elsie Silver. So this is Reckless and then Powerless. They have really pretty metallic sprayed edges, very pretty editions. I had ended up with one of theirs from their book box, which was I think for Heartless. Love that book, and these 2 are my other 2 favorites in her Chestnut Springs series. While I love them, I just don't need these special editions. They don't really do anything for me. I have other editions of these on my shelves. In the Lives of Puppets, TJ Klune. This is the Barnes & Noble edition. Somehow I had pre-ordered and got multiple editions of this book, so I already have them on my shelves, and this is just a duplicate. This is the Barnes & Noble edition, so I think it has the end papers and that art on the inside. 2 Mystic Box special editions. So these are from Callie Hart. These are glossy. So this is The Blood of Roses Part 1 and then The Blood of Roses Part 2. Again, this was just back when I was a subscriber to Mystic Box, and so these were 2 of the books. Really pretty sprayed edges. I've been tempted to try these out because I know I love Quicksilver by this author, but I'm not sure if this dark romance series would be for me. I haven't heard anything amazing, so maybe not. I have an ARC copy of Your Fault by Mercedes Ron. So this one I was sent from the publisher kind of unsolicited. They sent me all 3 in the My Fault series at one point, and this one just seems to have still been in my pile to get rid of. So again, it will go to a little free library or in a giveaway. And then I have 2 from Christina Lauren. So we have The Soulmate Equation and then The True Love Experiment. This is a Book of the Month edition. This edition I think is signed. Yes. I read both these books and they were a fun time, but not all-time favorites or anything. This is an author duo who I've read a ton of their books, and they're just not all-time favorites. Some of theirs work for me, some of them don't. So I don't know, I just don't need these on my shelves. All right, and then I have 8 books in the Outlander series. Let me put these down because they're crazy heavy. First one, of course, is Outlander, Diana Gabaldon. This is actually a series that I've read multiple times, and I actually ended up with all of these very floppy paperback copies from used bookstores around me. So book 2 is Dragonfly and Amber. Voyager is book 3. Drums of Autumn as well. The Fiery Cross. A Breath of Snow and Ashes. An Echo in the Bone. Again, just so floppy. and then Written in My Own Heart's Blood. So again, I got these all at local used bookstores. I think even some of these I found in like little free libraries. So these ones will definitely be going back to kind of the same places, just donating them. This is a series that I absolutely loved. I actually reread this series countless times, like years ago, back before I knew about YouTube or any type of like book recommendation sites. I used to reread this series like religiously. Love them so much. I'd finish a book, finish the series, and then go back to book one and start it all over again until I realized there were other books out there like this. So love this series, but again, I don't need these physical copies. Anytime I did read them, I just did the ebooks anyways, and I don't need these giant floppy paperbacks on my shelves anymore taking up space. All right, pretty sure we're on the very last section, so let's get through these. So these first ones are all the indie covers of From Blood and Ash series by JLA. This is one of my like first romantasy series that I was absolutely obsessed with, and I just don't think I need these indie covers on my shelves anymore. So we have Shadow in the Embers, The Crown of Gilded Bones, and A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. I have special editions of these on my shelves, and I just don't need these indie ones anymore. Another one from Blood and Ash JLA. I do love this book. It's one of my absolute favorites. It's so good, so like nostalgic to me, but this version I got from a book signing, I want to say. It was like in a swag bag, so I just don't need it. A historical romance, Duchess material by Emily Sullivan. This one I read. I didn't enjoy it. Stars in Your Eyes, Case and Calendar. This one I could just read from my library or somewhere else if I wanted to get to it. I think the cover is stunning. The Shake Off, Lulu Moore. This is a special edition from Fit Teacher Rachel and Logan's Library. This one was just in a like multi-author book box again, and this book I liked it, but not enough to like need a copy on my shelves. Broken Miles, Claire Kingsley. This is in her Miles Brothers series. This is a special edition from Hello Lovely. I think the art's really pretty, but this is not one that I super love. The Third Baseman, Lulu Moore. I actually love this book so much, but I think this edition just does not work for me. This was a special edition that I think cover to cover did, and like I don't know, I get it because I've read the book, but like this is a baseball sports romance, so I think I like the original better, and I have that signed from the author, so I don't need this one. For Lucy, Julie Ann. I actually hate this book. It's one of my least favorite books. This is a special edition from Hello Lovely. I know people love this book, but for me, this did not work. I actually have a couple special editions of And a Jam by Kate Canterbury, so I think this is from Hello Lovely box. I do think it's pretty, but I have like this book on my shelves already, and I don't love it enough to need like multiple copies. Same, this is In a Jam, Kate Canterbury. This one's from Eternal Embers. It's still sealed because I never bothered opening it because I wasn't going to keep it. Velvet Cruelty, Eve Dangerfield. I read this one and it was just okay. It's like Snow White. I think it was like Why Choose or Polly or something, Menage situation. I think I was sent this from the publisher. It came with swag. I think it's signed. I didn't really like it, so I don't need it on my shelves. Pestilence, Laura Thalassa. I've only read Rhapsodic by this author, didn't like it, and I've never really been intrigued to read any more from her. I've heard good things about this series, but like, I don't have the time or care to get to it. Oh, another of those historical romances from last chapter that look awful. This is Olivia and the Masked Duke. Do not like it. Grace Calloway. The art, like, no, thank you. Don't need her on my shelves. Trial by Fire, Emmy Carter, a special edition from Hello Lovely. I think it's a hockey romance. I have been intrigued to check this one out, but I could probably get it elsewhere if I really wanted to read it. A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch by Sarah Hawley. This is one I was, I think, sent from the publisher. I've read a couple from this author, I want to say, in the series. Didn't really enjoy them, so it's cute, but like, I don't think I would like it. The Bear and the Nightingale and The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden. This is a like fantasy series for years. I've said I'd try, and I obviously never have, so I don't need them. I'm pretty sure I got them from a local used bookstore. It can just go back there. Right Guy, Wrong Word, Julianne. Hated this book so much. This author's very hit and miss for me, and when it's a miss, it's a major miss. It Happened One Summer, Tessa Bailey. This book I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite Tessa Baileys, but I have some special editions of it on my shelves, so I don't need this one. A bunch of the Ice Planet Barbarians series by Ruby Dixon. These are like the trad covers that were being made. So we have Barbarian's Mate, Barbarian Alien, Barbarian's Prize, and Ice Planet Barbarians. I love this series so much, but I have all of the original indie covers on my shelves, and I don't need these trad ones as well. Best Kept Secret, Emily Silver. This one I didn't really like. I've read a few from this author and her books are fun, but this one was not one that I loved. I don't need it on my shelves. Wrecked, Lauren Asher. Again, this is that F1 series, and I just don't love it enough to have these on my shelves. Archer's Voice, Mia Sheridan. This is an Eternal Embers special edition. I liked this book years ago when I read it, but I didn't really feel the pull to have any editions of it on my shelves. From Here to Eternity, A.L. Jackson. I think I mentioned earlier I have a special edition of this as well, and I just didn't like this book, so I don't need this edition on my shelves, even even though the cover is so stinking pretty. Then the Christmas Tree Farm and the Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Lori Gilmore. These are just ones where I have duplicates of them. I might do like giveaways for them maybe, since they're very like seasonal reads. A couple from Natasha Madison. So we have Mine to Have, a special edition from Hello Lovely. This series is just okay. This author's very hit and miss for me. We have Mine to Take, another one in that series. This is, I think, is the original cover. The author sent it to me. This one is probably one of my favorites in the series, but she's not like an all-time favorite author enough for me to keep it. And then I have a couple from Lana Ferguson. Under Lock and Key. This is her like monster, kind of a Loch Ness Monster romance. I have a special edition of it, so I just don't need another edition because I didn't love the book that much. The Game Changer by Lana Ferguson. This is actually one of hers that I like the least, so I just don't need a physical copy of it anymore. She's not like an all-time favorite author for me. A couple from Meredith Trapp. So first up is Homebound. Love this cover so much. Read this author, and her books just don't work for me. I think I gave them both 3 stars, so I just don't need to keep them on my shelves. Same, this is Icebound, the first one in that series. I love the like cross-stitch cover. This is a special edition. I actually found this at a local used bookstore before I had read the author, tried her books, and they just don't work for me. Sticks and Stones, S. Mastery, S.J. Silvis. I thought at the time I would be into this, and I didn't hear great reviews, and I just am not pulled to read it. Buried Dreams, Natasha Madison. This is actually one of my favorites from her, but I already have a duplicate of this that I was sent from the author, so this one I ended up with an extra. Broken Harbor by Catherine Cowles. I just ended up with an extra of this with the sprayed edges. I think I got one sent from the publisher. I had also like pre-ordered, so I don't need 2 of the same. All Roads Lead Here, Myron Zapata. Read this one, did not like it at all. Like I said, this author is just not for me anymore. Heartless, Elsie Silver. Actually love this book, one of my all-time favorites, but this special edition, this art style just doesn't work for me. So I have other editions of this book on my shelves I'd rather keep. This is from Eternal Embers. Into the Woods, Jenny Holiday. This one seems really cute and fun. I was sent it from the publisher, I think, unsolicited. And this one, if I wanted to read it, I could probably find the audiobook or the ebook somewhere, and so I'm just not pulled to keep it on my shelves. You Between the Lines, Katie Naiman. I was sent this from the publisher, read it, did not like it. Lauren Kung Jessines, Yin Yang Love a Song. This one I just haven't never read, or I might have read it actually, and I didn't really enjoy it, so don't need it on my shelves. Was sent it from a publisher. Bourbon and Lies, Victoria Wilder. I love this book and series so much, but this is actually a duplicate, and I have one signed from the author on my shelves. Same with this, Playbook, Rebecca Jinchak. Somehow I ended up with 2. I think I pre-ordered one from her, and then I also got one from a PR box from her, so it has all the like bells and whistles and all the things. It's foiled. I will probably do like a giveaway or something for this because this is one of my all-time favorites. The Worst Duke in London, Amelie Howard, a historical romance. I read this one and was not a fan, although the little pets on here are so stinking cute. Fate of Wrath and Flame, K.A. Tucker. This is like a fantasy romance. I've been meaning to read it for too many years. Never have, and I probably never will at this point. A bunch from Katie Roberts. So we have Desperate Measures, Learn My Lesson, The Beast, and Queen Takes a Rose. These are all part of her Wicked Villain series, which I had read, I think, maybe the first 2 at one point. I used to like her books. I just don't think her writing's for me anymore. And then the top one is Dark Succession by her. This was like a reprint of one of her Mafia romances, which was actually one of the first Mafias I read. Love the series, but again, I just don't need her books on my shelves anymore. Same with these, R.S. Gray. I used to love her books like 8-9 years ago. I thought they were super fun and very bingeable, and her covers all had like the same style. So His Royal Highness, The Allure of Dean Harper, and Dr. Dearest. These were fun, but like I don't need them on my shelves anymore. And then Among the Heather by Samantha Young. This is actually one in her Highlands series that I did not like, so I only have kept my favorites in the series, and I just don't need the rest of them on my shelves anymore. And with that, I think we are done for now. I actually know for a fact I have even more books on my shelves that I need to get rid of. I just have to find them, but I think that's a good enough haul for now. That was like literally hundreds of books, so thank you again for sticking with me this whole journey, and I'm gonna keep continuing to do unhauls in the future. So hopefully you enjoyed that massive unhaul. Like I said, majority of these I'm gonna be listing them on a like used book site, and some of these I might save for like a rainy day for a giveaway. We shall see. Like I honestly don't know what I'm doing, but I know that these books need to go. So with all of that out of the way, it was like a longer video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you stuck around. Like I mentioned, there's hundreds of books, so bear with me as I try to list these slowly, quickly. I don't know how it's gonna go. We shall see. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you stayed this long and enjoyed this video today, leave me a book stack emoji for the books and books and books that I need to get rid of that are going bye-bye from my house. So I think that's all I have. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, my future unhauls, any of the things. And thanks so much for watching. Bye!